Last night in the Northeast, there was a huge rainfall of tropical storms. This caused serious delays on the main lines. On the Connecticut line, Rusty, Skarloey, and Russell were doing work on the main line. The three of them were on lunch break and were talking with each other. It's definitely a good thing we finished maintenance on the Connecticut line. Same. I'm definitely happy we finished the line. Now no toys will have any trouble. Yeah, the Connecticut line is fully done, but the Little Bark line, or Big Bark Woods line, is still in need of repair. Now, I know you guys will take care, but I don't know about Duncan. He will do rock and roll along the line. And speak of the devil, here he comes right now. Duncan stormed into Seymour doing his rock and roll session. Duncan parked on the other side of the platform where Russell was sitting. I hope he doesn't get his passengers hurt. What about me, Skarloey? I'm a plain speaking engine, and you know what I believe in. Speak up, Skarloey. I want to hear it. Skarloey and the others told Duncan about the bad bit of rails in Big Bark Woods. Bah, humbug. I'll be fine. Just watch me fly down the rails. Duncan sped off. Well, we tried to warn him. Indeed, Russell. Don't worry about him, boys. He's just too big for his buffers. Unfortunately, Rusty was right. While Duncan was collecting his slate trucks from the New London slate mines, he felt very pleased with himself. He became more arrogant throughout the day. That afternoon, there was trouble along the line. I got bad news, boy. Philip cannot take his passenger train all the way up to New Jersey. To be more particular, I think Newark. Come on, boy, we're gonna have to take Philip's train. All this extra work. It was an engine out. Rubbish, come on. Duncan was most upset. Duncan made the journey very difficult as he went across his branch line. As he went over Thunder Rock Bridge and going over the Anderson Lakeside Bridge, Duncan mainly worked on the Pinewood branch line with Skarloey, Duck, Victor, and Lamar, which was something he was not very proud of. Ever since the company expanded a little more last year, he has been very unhappy with the workloads he has been given. I'll get no rest! I'll get no rest! Duncan was short of steam, so him and his driver had to stop at a siding in Pinewood. They parked right next to a couple of slate trucks for about 3 minutes. Come on, Duncan, we'll keep the passengers waiting. Finally, Duncan built enough steam to head off again. Duncan, of course, was still sulking and was even more cross. After a short time, they arrived to the bustling woods incline, found some tracks, and went to go find the coaches that Philip was supposed to take. They found the coaches at the bustling woods wharf. Duncan's driver took off Duncan's magnets and used a coupling to couple up to the coaches. They had to hurry as fast as they could because the train was running about a half hour late. Of course, the passengers were very upset, so Duncan's driver, fireman, and the guard had to go soothe the passengers. Zoe and Claire refused to speak to Duncan because they knew what had happened just further down the line. Especially after the last thing Duncan called them, which I will definitely not say. Then an idea flew into Duncan's smokebox. What if I derail myself in Little Bark Grove? Then someone else will have to take the train for me. Duncan, you're really clever. Duncan's driver came back. All clear to go, Duncan. Lead the way. Duncan set off cheerfully. Zoe and Claire could tell Duncan was up to no good. Again. Duncan entered Little Bark Junction, where the bad bit of rails were. Duncan saw his chance of opportunity and began to do his rock and roll session. Steady, old boy! But it was too late. Ugh, of course I knew this was gonna happen. I'm gonna call for the breakdown train, Duncan. That way so we can be put back on the rails so we can continue the rest of our journey. Duncan was furious. His plan failed miserably. Russell was in the break room with Zoe when he got the call about Duncan derailing. He volunteered to put Duncan back on the rails, and Zoe cheered him on. Russell had a little plan to get back at Duncan for being a show-off. Duncan laid sad and solitary. He couldn't rock and roll now. Rusty came from behind with a works train. I was just about to repair this line! I'm gonna assume you did something stupid again. Oh dear, I've made a fool of myself again. Yeah, you sure did, Duncan. You sure did. Passengers were just about to use wood from Rusty's van to put Duncan back on the rails. Until, just then, Russell arrived to the aid of everyone. Well, Duncan, you tried to rock and roll your way out of work, eh? Well, I guess that ain't happening today. The passengers, crew, and Rusty laughed. Duncan didn't respond. He was far too embarrassed. Russell lifted Duncan off the tracks and put him on some rocks, while workmen laid down a new set of tracks to replace the broken ones. Then Russell put Duncan back on the tracks and coupled him up to his coaches. Duncan left after that without saying another word and tried to make up for lost time. However, that couldn't save him from not getting in trouble. The boss spoke severely to him at the Bustling Woods sheds. Now you listen to me, Duncan. There was nothing wrong with that track back there. You got derailed because you tried to do rock and roll. What is this, some sort of tradition you do? You want to know exactly how I feel about it? Well, sir... Get the fuck off the dance floor, alright? Those broken tracks are not dance floors, and you are not a pop star. If this happens again, I'll beat the shit out of you. Now, need I say more? Duncan was to stay in one of the Bustling Woods sheds for a month. Duncan's days of bullying and showing off might be officially over.